They're praising Hasan Piker. It's exactly what I predicted. Brett Cooper launching her own channel is a good thing. Certainly, you wanted her to retain the massive marketing efforts of the Daily Wire. She's not going to, but I think she'll be all right. Reagan, replacing Brett, is going to get the massive infrastructure of the Daily Wire. Is that what people are mad? Like, honest question, those in the comments. Is the issue that the Daily Wire spends a ton of money promoting and building up this channel and you want Brett to have that capability? I think she's going to find a way. Having another Reagan is really good. It's really annoying how people just want Daily Wire to be evil. I really just don't like the people who make their whole identity Israel. Guys?
You literally did this, though. You literally sided with Crowder in the but it's because Tim was thinking maybe that Crowder actually had a shot at taking the Daily Wire out or something?
Now, some of you are probably asking, who is this chick? Where is Brett? What is going on? And those are all very valid questions. So before we get into today's episode, I want to just recap a few things with you all. Now, many of you have known me as producer Reagan.
It's kind of brave to to keep the same show going and to just throw on a new talent. But what happened? Brett Cooper basically left the show on the Daily Wire, and then the producer stepped up. Or stepped up, I mean, is now the new thing or whatever, yeah. Tim says, it all just seems like obvious contract stuff to me. I assume Brett wanted more money. Daily Wire didn't want to pay more. Impasse. I don't get why anyone would be mad. It's not like Brett can't keep doing videos. Now you get another show in the cultural space. This is true. I think the anger largely comes from the fallout with Candace on top of the fact that they replaced her with her maid of honor. That's kind of weird. Could have been given Brett's blessings too, though. We will never know due to NDAs. NDAs are mutual, and you won't know because neither party wants to go to war publicly. NDAs are an excuse drama people use to create mystery. At any time, Brett could say anything she wants. Okay. I'm just taking a deep breath. This is 100% true. Okay, so Tim Pool does understand how business stuff works. Tim Pool does know how all of this stuff goes. So when he says stupid shit on stream, he is literally just trolling. Yeah, I am Merc. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why I was incurring psychic damage. Pool used NDAs as an excuse for business offers from years ago. Yes, I know. And he also had that huge, where he was mediating kind of the fight, or not mediating, but he was like taking sides really in the fight between Daily Wire and Steven Crowder. Okay, so it's all just for show. He does understand, or it's a grift. So he does understand, like, yeah, this is all true. Respectfully, I feel like you shouldn't speak for Brett or what she can do unless you've spoken to her. Oh, so Candace Owens has now come in to perform while Tim Pool is being honest. Or maybe his honesty here is like part of the performance, I guess. Maybe I misunderstood your intention when you wrote, at any time Brett can say anything she wants. Maybe you meant equals. NDAs can technically be violated. Parking that aside and speaking more broadly, I found that the purpose of NDA should be simply to protect important company information. I make my employees send one-pagers to protect information about addresses, contacts, information about my kids, etc. I've never put an employee under an NDA contract because I was worried about them telling the truth about how I treated them. I think that is at the core of the current NDA debate. Hold on. So to be clear, all terms of employment for Candace Owens, all of their compensation, everything, all of that is, none of that is NDA'd. None of those negotiations are NDA'd. This is at the heart of what Kanye was hitting at 2 years ago. Like I said, Ye was making a lot of important points about predatory contracts in industries where you have, bro, like Kanye West was the first person to talk about predatory contracts in the music industry. Oh my God. What is, Jesus, what is Candace Owens, like 15? What is, okay. The ChatGPT response. Says I couldn't articulate my argument about him being racist. Explains why he's racist and stupid. Doesn't reply. Is this here the biggest liberal streamer man? Destiny's position of support for Israel, like many liberals, is rooted in underlying hatred and racism towards Arab people. Oh, nice. And he's even got the cuck jokes. Good one. Wow. And actually, you know what? Can I just say this? If I was going to watch a BBC fuck my woman, I would want it to be ABBA. ABBA's a handsome, nice dude. So you know what? If I do get into cuckoldry, ABBA is going to be my number one call. I am going to call him. Okay? So don't be a hater. All right? And also, friendly reminder, if somebody is truly a cuckold, okay, and they get off on the humiliation and all of that, technically, if you're humiliating them publicly, you're just playing into their fetish. So every time you type shit like this, if you truly believe I'm a cuckold, all you're doing is you're helping me jerk off to it at the end of the night. So don't ever forget. Okay, I quote tweeted this and I said, I disagree with him, but I'm too stupid to articulate why, so I'm just going to call him racist. Okay, apparently he responded, your argument was stupid because you're justifying apartheid from your ridiculous notion that Arab people just inherently hate Jewish people. The problem is that Zionists are ethnically cleansing Palestinians from their home, not that Arabs hate Jewish people. What? What you said didn't even make any sense and doesn't even map onto any of the debates I've had on this issue. I am probably, literally, question mark, one of the only people who debates this topic from a slightly more Zionist perspective that believes that religious/ethnic backgrounds don't even play the largest role in this conflict. Is my Sam Harris argument about that, is that public or is that on his, is that the paywalled part? You're not saying anything meaningful. You're just using buzzwords. If you want to argue, or if you want to chat, why do you say this? Nobody wants to, and I wouldn't. I don't even blame him. He's probably a fucking retard. If you want to chat about it, shoot me a DM, and we can set up a conversation. Smiley face. He said he would indeed debate you. Bet. Oh. Oh, well, hey, DM me. I'm live for 6 more hours. And I stream most days of the week. Okay, well. Whenever someone starts calling you a cuck/humiliating you, you should start gooning ultimate defense. Oh, true. Holy shit. I should go into the fucking hyperbolic humiliation chamber, and I should condition myself to get turned on by humiliation porn. And I'll go to every debate again in sweatpants, and anytime somebody starts bringing up the cuck jokes, I'll just pop a raging hard on. And so that way they can know that, like, yeah, keep going. What'd you say? What'd you call me? That's the distributive homosexuality. What am I thinking of? What do you call it when you have when you do this? Is it transitive? When this does all this? There's a name for this. This equals some other bullshit. What is this called? Is it distribute? Yeah.
For example, if anyone tried to bully me, I had a very good response, which is, no, don't touch me, I'll get an erection. And I can't...
Okay.
So it begins. Democrats now calling for more cultural dominance, praising Hasan Piker, saying we must support individuals like this. Now, Fox News ain't pulling any punches. They say, top Harris aide hypes radical activist who said America deserved 9/11 while plotting future for Dems. House Democrat called Hasan Piker a poster child for the post-October 7th outbreak of anti-Semitism in America earlier this year. Me, oh my. Well, basically what we're seeing right now is Democrats recognizing that they've lost cultural control. The corporate press is no longer what they used to be. And as I've been warning, especially in the previous video, the big players, Disney, Comcast, you name it, they are going to dump money in this space, and they will make sure that these voices rise to the top. Now, I don't believe Hasan Piker is in the path of that trampling that's underway because he's too, anti-Israel, I guess.
So what does that mean that culture is controlled by conservatives? Does that mean in the lead up to Trump being elected, it wasn't accurate or fair to say that conservatives are mad that liberals dominate the space? Was it really conservatives dominating the space the entire time? Or what does that mean? Like, how can you simultaneously be the victim and the champion always?
Yes. Now, I think if you are going to play, like look at Twitch in the apocalypse where he is, many people are blaming him for this. Advertisers don't want to touch things where they're going to get accused of any isms. Let's roll, baby. The left is going to say they're defending Israel. The right, well, a lot of people on the right are going to say defending Israel too. Let me put it this way. Corporations don't care if it's Israel or black people or gay people or otherwise. Corporations don't want shotgun defense regardless of where it comes from. Now, the people who are very Israel-centric, be it for or against, are going to claim that they're the perceived victim, whatever it may be. The reason why I think Hasan Piker is not going to be chosen in this regard is because corporations are going to say he evokes too much negative attention as it pertains to offense. Now, if you're a channel that's critical of some things, maybe gay marriage or something like that, you'll probably still get some advertisers, but it's a sliding scale. You can be critical of Israel and there's no problem. Some people certainly exaggerate and say that, no, you can't, they'll come for you. It depends on what you're saying in your criticism. Like, you know, the things Hasan Piker has said about October 7th.
What? Hasan is retweeting chat logs of me? What the fuck? How obsessed is he with me now? My God. I was my biggest hater to imagine my potential as a 350k live concurrent streamer. Jesus. From a guy retweeting chat logs of me. Who's this guy? 1,180 followers. How did he even get tuned into this tweet? Jesus.
And his stance is they go a little far. And I'm not saying it's extreme, I'm saying they go far in one direction. And for a lot of people in Israel, they make it their whole identity. Advertisers don't want to be associated with something that's going to cost them money. So if you are talking about race issues and you're hyper-focused on crime rates of the black community, you can talk about it, nobody cares, but if it's all you talk about, advertisers are going to say no. Democrats probably won't go this direction. That's probably why Fox News is criticizing them. But they are going to go for many of these other liberal creators, who I'm not going to mention, because I don't want to give them any airtime on that regard. Fox News says, here's his former deputy campaign manager, Rob Flaherty, said in a recent interview that Democrats are losing hold of culture and laid out a strategy for them to develop a whole thriving system ahead of future elections. We need a whole thriving ecosystem. It's not just pods of America, though I think we should have more of them. It's not just Hasan Piker. We should have more Hasan Pikers. It's also the cultural creators, the folks who are one rung out, who influence the nonpartisan audience. Those things all need to happen together. The reality is, it's not going to be big media organizations. It's going to be a network and constellation of individual personalities, because that's how people get their information now. Yet. Flaherty previously served as the director of digital strategy for the Biden White House, is likely to face backlash for calling for more Hasan Pikers due to Piker's past controversial comments. He had previously raised more than $1 million for Palestinian aid, used his platforms with millions of followers to downplay and justify attacks such as October 7th and 9/11 as acts of resistance in recent years. Yeah, he said something nasty about 9/11. He said nasty stuff about Dan Crenshaw's eye. I mean, a little crass. During a 2019 live stream, Piker praised the brave effing soldier who wounded Dan Crenshaw while he was deployed in Afghanistan as a Navy SEAL, asking, didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave effing soldier, effed his eye hole with their D? Yikes, man. Is that what Democrats are going for? Holy smokes. Look, this is what they're going for. They're praising the murder of that CEO. This is what they're going for. You want to say that America deserved 9/11, saying before later walking it back, saying it was inappropriate.
Wait, was Tim defending the murder? Or I'm sorry. Was Tim defending the CEO? I would have imagined that Tim would have been on the side of the CEO shooter. That would have been my guess.
However, in another stream this year, he joked about 9/11 again, saying, oh my God, 9/11-2 is going to be so sick, and give Saudi Arabia a nuke so they can do 9/11-2. Wow, that's, jeez, dude.
Jesus
in another stream,
Christ.
Piker broadcast propaganda from the Houthis, an Iranian-backed group in Yemen. So we get it. Okay, guys, I'm not here to rag on Hasan.
Why? Because Tim's conservative? Because he's like a populist, so like the whole billionaire CEO shit, I would imagine he would have been on the shooter side.
On Piker. I know people don't like him. They're going to mention that Hasan said Hamas was the lesser evil next to Israel. His Twitch streams regularly hit more than 1 million views and often have as many as 30,000 views.
Trump defended the CEO. Oh, true. So they all have to fall in line.
At a time. You know, we here at Timcast are rather proud of flying under the radar over and over again. For some reason, we rarely ever get mentioned. I think I'm good at hiding in this cave and not doing external press. Though I do think, you know, our media strategy is largely that it has to change. I want to talk to you about where we're currently at and why this story is big. This is the war, my friends. The media...
Why does everything have to be a fucking war? Okay, yeah.
...is coming. They're praising Hasan Piker. It's exactly what I predicted. We are going to see more of this moving forward. I got a response on the comment section from Candace Owens about what I said. And I think there's a lot to bring up on this, so I definitely want to get into more of Candace's argument and the point she's making, because I'm not saying she's wrong at all. I largely agree with her and the issues at play and where we go media-wise. With the Democrats calling for more Hasan Pikers, I'm going to reiterate, Brett Cooper launching her own channel is a good thing. Certainly you wanted her to retain the massive marketing efforts of the Daily Wire. She's not going to, but I think she'll be all right. Reagan, replacing Brett, is going to get the massive infrastructure of the Daily Wire. Is that what people are mad? Like, honest question for those in the comments. Is the issue that the Daily Wire spends a ton of money promoting and building up this channel and you want Brett to have that capability? I think she's going to find a way. Having another Reagan is really good. It's really annoying how people just want Daily Wire to be evil. I really just don't like the people who make their whole identity Israel. Guys.
You literally did this, though. You literally sided with Crowder in the but it's because Tim was thinking maybe that Crowder actually had a shot at taking the Daily Wire out or something. Like, Tim in the most like business retard pod ever. I wanted to fight against him and Rick Hader on this because they were both so wrong. When Crowder was accusing the Daily Wire of engaging in bad business practice or whatever, the Daily Wire is like being super standard. But I guess now but I guess since Crowder is falling off and the Daily Wire is exploding or doing well, I guess.
sides. You can criticize Daily Wire, you can criticize Israel. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the people who are obsessed with nothing but Israel and criticize Daily Wire in that vein. Okay? If you're critical of Daily Wire, you're allowed to be. Not saying that. But we need more people in the space. We need more investment. They're outright saying they want more Hasan Pikers. Well, we want more Brett Coopers. We want more people who are going to be calling out the lies, the cheating, and stealing. And if we don't focus on like Reagan and Brett are of comparable cultural worldview, despite any personal drama or beef that people may perceive. I don't know. I don't care. What we don't want is more Hasan Pikers. Hasan's welcome to come on the show and debate anytime. He's going to stand by his ideas. But if Democrats start reinforcing that space.
So Hasan Piker, just not to make this about me, but so Hasan Piker, who said we need more 9/11s, give Saudi Arabia a nuke, made fun of Dan Crenshaw's eye, and this guy says, Tim Pool says he's extremely crazy and radical. He'll invite him onto the show, but he's scared of talking to me. Interesting, huh? Well, it makes you think.
We get crushed. They're going to pull in, Disney's going to have $1 billion in revenue, and they're going to say, let's allocate $500 million towards owning the podcast space. They already largely control a lot of it. And while they come out and say conservatives are well-funded and organized, that's just not true. The majority of these people who are quote-unquote conservative, independent. The biggest names in the space, largely independent. No big networks. Then you look at these other popular podcasts, and they're more likely to have networks and be produced serialized shows coming from the corporate press and legacy media. It's changing. Rumble's doing a great job. Daily Wire's doing a great job. The Blaze, they're there as well. But everyone's saying, what, you don't think they're doing a great job? The Blaze is doing all right, but they need to do more. You've got these networks, they could do better. So in response to what we're seeing here, as it pertains to NDAs, I want to cover this and highlight this because Candace did respond based on my last post. For those who aren't familiar, I basically said that Brett leaving the Daily Wire is likely a contract dispute. They didn't come to terms, so she went to do her own channel. So long as she gets good advice and she knows what she's doing, she should be totally fine. I do have concerns about the launching of her channel as of yet without any content on it. That could be a big risk as it creates dead subs. I want to stress that because I hope people around her are telling her this. But a lot of people are saying that Daily Wire this bad. Otherwise, they're saying, oh, it's all your friends. Yeah, I consider them to be friends. I think they're doing a great job, and I want to see them succeed. They're building culture. Rumble's doing the same thing. Where's anybody coming out telling me that I'm shilling for Rumble when I praise Rumble over and over again? And this is the funny thing. Timcast.com is Rumble infrastructure. It's all our back end. So here's what I want to say. As per NDAs, there's something important to know.
Rumble.com is the Timcast infrastructure. Wait, what does that mean? What?
Where's anybody coming out telling me that I'm shilling for Rumble when I praise Rumble over and over again? And this is the funny thing. Timcast.com is Rumble infrastructure. It's all our back end. So,
well, like he's renting server space and everything for Timcast from Rumble because Rumble does like server. Wait, do they? They do, right? Or they told me that. I don't even know where you would go to look at like buying this, but okay.
Here's what I want to say. As per NDAs, there's something important to know. Candace responded when I said there's more to law than just what is written down as the court of public opinion. She said, maybe I misunderstood your intention when you wrote, at any time Brett can say anything she wants. Maybe you meant NDAs can technically be violated. They can literally be violated any time with consequences commensurate with your willingness to engage in such consequences.
You just described every contract ever. I mean, you can violate literally any contract at any point in time, assuming you have free will and aren't dead. I mean, yes, that's true. You can also break laws, by the way, as long as you're willing to deal with the consequences.
Candace said, parking that aside and speaking more broadly, I find the purpose of NDAs should be simply to protect important company information. I make my employees sign one pages to protect information about addresses, contacts, information about my kids, etc. I've never put an employee under NDA contract because I was worried about them telling the truth about how I treated them. I think that is the core of the current NDA debate, disclosure versus disparagement. And at the heart of what Kanye was hitting at 2 years ago. Putting people under contract so you can treat them like ish and then threaten them financially if they speak about it, as similarly alluded to by the Crowder-Jared controversy, is an entirely different conversation. I just want to point out the paradoxical or insular Crowder-Jared controversy, but Crowder-Daily Wire controversy. And I'm like, guys, we don't need the drama. Okay? Everybody. It's just seemingly whatever. She says, I also take issue with their mutual point. Oftentimes, they are not reciprocal. I know plenty of people who are in non-reciprocal clauses. They sign them because they need the job and don't imagine relationships souring. They're all mutual. And I'm not speaking from a legal sense. I'm speaking from a court of public opinion. That's the point. NDAs, when you say you're not going to speak about certain things, the mutual nature of it I'm referring to. And again, I'm not saying it is wrong. I think the way she interpreted what I was saying, I will own up to. Let me clarify in that regard.
Damn, he's simping so hard for Candace. Are they trying to do like conservative unity, or is he looking for like co-hosts, or is he struggling and he needs like more goodwill in the conservative community, or I wonder what's going on here. He's super conciliatory.
When you go to war is what really matters. Too many people live in this world of boxes and lines. The contract says it, therefore, doesn't matter. If you came to me and said, Tim, I want a job, and I made you sign a contract where I said, I get to own your dog, and you were like, I never agreed to give my dog, well, I just signed it. A judge is going to tell me to shut up. They're going to be like, you can't slip in weird provisions to trick people in contracts. The contract is dissolved. Nothing you can do to enforce it. Not only that, but how am I going to get your dog? Like, you can literally be like, nice try, dude, not going to happen. The point of mutual, what I mean by saying mutual is that going to war is a crisis largely of both parties. Often NDAs are literally mutual, saying parties are...
I hate this guy so much that when he did when he was talking about the contracts with the Daily Wire and Steve Ricardo, he was saying some of the dumbest, most retarded shit I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. Like, nobody that's worked in this industry for any amount of time would say this. And he did the same shit when he was talking to Sam Cedar. I was going to say Steve Ricardo. When he was talking to Sam Cedar, and he was like, "Oh, I can't talk about any past deals. I'm NDA." He was saying the most retarded shit ever. But now when he's talking, it's obvious that he understands these concepts. He is right, by the way. Contract is worth whatever you can wipe on your fucking ass with it. Like, if I were to sign some NDA with the fucking Daily Wire, and then like fucking one of their employees fucking rapes me or some crazy shit, you think you would follow that NDA? Not only would you not follow that NDA, they probably wouldn't even try to enforce it if you went public, because they want to get that shit out of the public eye as soon as fucking possible, right? NDAs are like for either really important shit, like fucking crazy shit that you would go to court over, which you ideally wouldn't leak, but like over like mistreatment of employees and stuff like that. Like the PR, the public damage nightmare fallout from shit like this is not worth going after somebody. Just most of the time, right? Like they're like promise contracts. Like, I promise I won't do this. I probably won't do this. You won't do this. I won't do this. We have like a mutual understanding, like more or less. Like, I don't think any of these are ever like, has there ever been a case in all of like esports or like online content creation history where somebody's like gone to court to like rigidly and heavily enforce NDA? I don't think so. Any of these things get broken all the time.
But how am I going to get your dog? Like, you can just literally be like, "Nice try, dude." Not going to happen. The point of mutual, what I mean by saying mutual is that going to war is a crisis largely of both parties. Often NDAs are literally mutual, saying parties agree not to disparage or disclose information about either party as it pertains to certain contracts. That is true, but many people are not in a legally mutual, meaning only you can't disparage them, they can disparage you. However, usually doesn't happen that way, and the war would be mutual. So I'll own up to that and say I mean to clarify. Candace says, like I said, Ye was making a lot of important points about predatory contracts in industries where you have young artists and talent coming up that enter into contractual agreements. These artists usually are not repped by lawyers when they sign them, and then are made to understand the severity of what they signed later. I believe Cardi B is an example of this. It's a major issue with Hollywood-type contracts. Personally speaking,
the issue with Hollywood-type contracts, I don't believe has to do with like fucking NDAs. It has to do with signing over like huge amounts of rights to contracts and getting fucked over on royalties and getting fucked over on the income that you probably should be generating based on the revenue that you're generating for the for the company that's signing you. I don't think it's just like NDAs or what's fucking over a lot of these artists, assuming they're even getting fucked over. But
every contract I've signed in my career has been different from the one before. It simply depends on the employer and how they view and treat talent. My response: I said, yes, what I mean is NDAs are extremely difficult to enforce, and resolution, especially with arbitration clauses, can still favor the person who violated the NDA, disclosure or disparagement. In the event Brett or anyone of these agreements decides to go to war and violate them, the sanctions can be nothing compared to blowback on the corporation.
Yes.
Thus,
true.
For most parties, it's easier to not go to war and just abide by it.
True. Yep.
Keep things private. If ever a backstabbing was so egregious, people would, and famously have, violated these agreements.
Yep.
When politics are involved, people can see a lot of money in attacking perceived enemies.
Yep.
I highlight this summary of the McLibel case, which I made reference to in the previous segment. The McLibel case backfired at McDonald's primarily because it attracted massive negative publicity and scrutiny worldwide, undermining the company's reputation rather than protecting
I can't believe you ChatGPT do this.
it. The simple version is Helen Steele and Dave Morris were distributing leaflets which were libelous, and McDonald's got mad that they were lying. So they sued them, Streisand affecting them, resulting in everybody hearing about the claims. Caused reputational damage because McDonald's labor practices, environmental impact, and food health concerns were publicly examined and criticized. David versus Goliath was one scenario. One component. When McDonald's, a massive corporation, was perceived as bullying two limited individuals with limited resources. It's literally what we're seeing happening now, and no one's even gone to war. The narrative for many people is the Daily Wire has been bullying people, and quite literally, no one's even disparaged each other. The length and cost was the largest in British history, lasting over 10 years. McDonald's won the lawsuit, but the reputational damage outweighed their legal victory. So a lot of people are making points and blah, 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 and whatever, don't care. The moral is never sign an NDA. Okay. Somebody responded with, "Oh yeah, but Tim makes people sign NDAs." Yeah, for the same reason Candace said. Look, if I want to do a movie, and I tell one party, in all contracts, I brought this up a lot. In contracts, you assert rights over everything you claim, and you are responsible if you lie. So if I go to someone and say, "I have the right to this story about a young up-and-coming skateboarder who wants to take over the world of skateboarding," whatever, I don't know. A company says, "You have full legal rights to this story, and we can produce it. We enter into a contract." Let's say that I have an employee who's not under an NDA, and they're allowed to communicate all of these ideas. So they go to another company and then say, "Here's the idea," and that company says, "We're going to make that." That could put me in breach of the other contract where they say, "You had all legal rights over this," but it turns out that guy had a legal right to bring the story to anybody else. So you have to have non-competes. I think non-compete, like ownership rights, is non-compete's not the way to describe it. You're not going to produce content when you work here. You're not going to write for anybody else without approval. You're not going to take any of your ideas elsewhere. You're not going to explain core functions of the business, and you're not going to smack talk us. Okay? Otherwise, you would not be able to enter into these other contracts, and nobody would want to, even for non-disparagements. Don't get me wrong, there are corrupt entities out there, and Candace is completely right about that, and people enter into bad contracts. However, the issue largely is not at play today in many ways. Ye is correct in this industry because you need these labels. But right now, you don't need the Daily Wire. Brett Cooper leaves, and what happens? She launches her own channel. Now, she's not going to get the marketing apparatus of the Daily Wire, but she doesn't deserve it. She deserves everything she built. She deserves your support, but she doesn't deserve anyone else's money other than the money she makes. That's what I'm trying to say. The Daily Wire doesn't want to spend money on her. That's fine, okay? No one else is. She is free to go and on her own terms build her own thing, and she can. Now, with Hollywood and these agreements, where would you go? If you get booted off your label, what do? A lot of these bands have no means of starting a new channel, and so they end up nowhere. But Brett was able to use the comment section platform to announce her new show, and with her Instagram that was built up by Daily Wire and her Twitter, and the work she did. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that she did nothing. I'm saying it's a total corporate combined effort. She is going to walk away with a big opportunity. So it's not all bad. Here's what I'm going to say. The David and Goliath thing is already happening. We've got Democrats basically coming out saying they want to start funding more Hasan Pikers. And people are like, ooh, the Daily Wire, they're so bad. Come on, guys. Criticize them when it makes sense. But this is a company that challenged the vaccine mandates and made a video saying outright, we will sue the government and we will not do this. While the Democrat establishment media fired people who refused and forced everyone to do it. They lied, they cheated, and they stole from us. And y'all think the Daily Wire is the bad guy? We use Rumble infrastructure, okay? At Timcast, I praise Rumble every single day. I think they're doing a great job, okay? If this is all we've got, by all means, I'm not saying don't criticize things that you think are bad, but this is the bottom of the barrel. And the bigger play is against what they are doing now with the Democratic Party and building up these personalities. So I find it silly to see Crowder being, people attacking louder with Crowder over the Jared scenario. I look at that, I'm like, guys, we need Crowder. Then I see the Crowder Daily Wire, and I'm like, guys, we need you both. People are tweeting at me and Candace like, please don't fight. I like both of your shows. I got to be with Candace. I don't know. She's commenting, she's giving her thoughts on the NDA situation. Granted, she was under NDA at the Daily Wire, so I understand her position on this. She's not wrong. I'm just trying to explain how I feel
It's
about
so strategic. It's crazy how strategic this is. Like, okay, we're all going to work together now. Now it's all cool. So all the trashing each other and the shitting on each other and the fighting all beforehand was just like, I guess it's all like performative.
I don't know why people are mad. People just want drama. They're like, not a good look for you, Tim. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even saying Candace is wrong. I'm just pointing out that warfare, like, if you want to go to war with NDA, you can. And it can be detrimental to the company, even if you're in the wrong. Let me wrap up by saying this. I've had people violate NDAs on me. I couldn't do anything about it. So what can you, like, the lawyers and the judges are just like, we don't care. The world does not work this way. Nobody wants to go to war because we don't need the war. Brett is taking the honorable path because she's honorable. The Daily Wire also said the same thing, like, we're sad to see her go, we wish her the best. They're letting her launch this channel off the comment section. And I think it may be slightly acrimonious, but what I see here is no need for drama. Both parties may be upset.
When you say that the assassination attempt on Trump and on that CEO is the same kind of vigilantism, I mean, they're both vigilantism. I don't know if it's the same kind of vigilantism, but they're both vigilantism, yeah. If both are vigilantism, wouldn't you condemn both on the same basis? What? No, what? I don't know if all vigilantism is bad. I think as a rule, I think generally vigilantism is probably bad, but I don't know if I would say categorically all vigilantism is bad. So it's kind of a weird statement for an American to make whose country came from like a revolution against a government. Make the distinction between as a rule versus categorically. Sure. So like as a rule, your mom likes 5-inch, but categorically she wouldn't rule out my 10-inch cock when you like 10-inch throbbing BCC, my big Cuban cock. You know what I mean, bitch. Vigilantism is considered bad because we shouldn't be circumventing rule of law in order to bring somebody to justice, because there's probably going to be less justice in the world if people take the law into their own hands, right? However, vigilantism's badness is a function of functioning legal systems, right? So if you live in a place where the law system is corrupt or non-existent, then vigilantism might be preferable to non-enforcement, right? So say you live in a society where there's no legal system, then you would exclusively have vigilantism to enforce whatever social norms or laws. So it just depends, yeah. Not to Fed post, but how does this apply when someone is able to avoid all justice through bullshit like Trump? That will inevitably lead to people glowing. That's the natural outcome of stuff like this. That's the fuck around, find out moment. If you do things to continually circumvent rule of law or accountability, at some point, reality will hold you accountable. What that looks like is up to you. Please, can this guy please just go away? Can this guy please just go away? Why does he have to be an expert in everything? Is he talking about everything? What is this?
It's really annoying when video.
Oh, cool. No volume on your dog shit video on your fucking retarded app.
It's really annoying when video game gets interrupted by some DEI woke bullshit, and I'm like, Jesus, I was playing a video game here. Can you just leave the video games alone? You don't want to do things that damage art. So it breaks you out of the story.
Please, please just go away. Please go away.
Hello.
Hi. Quickly, because I got a lot of shit to go through today. What's up?
Okay. Did you hear that The Witcher 4 is now woke because Ciri is going to be the main character?
I've seen people complaining about it, but I haven't seen the trailers.
Have you read any of the books?
Nope.
I'm not sure if she's a main character in any of the books. Regardless of that, like, if we were to just consider, like, the Witcher video game universe to be separate, I don't know what the fucking big deal is, because they kind of set up Ciri to be, you know, a main protagonist in The Witcher 3 anyway.
Yeah?
People are also complaining that she looks ugly, which she doesn't. I don't know what's going on anymore, honestly. I think there's, like, maybe there's two sides of this. Either, like, there's just a lot of dudes who don't like women in games, period, pretty much, unless they look like some, like, anime babe or something. Or they're just trying to express some, like, desire to have, like, I don't know, like a Conan type character as the main character in their video games. And, like, if anything deviates from that, especially if it's a female, they're, like, just calling it woke.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, gamers being gamers, yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny, though, because people are complaining that, like, there's ugly women as the protagonist, you know, in the story. But then when there's, like, a big buff dude, it's okay.
Well, I
Kinda
think, well, isn't that
strange.
consistent?
Like, the inconsistency that I'm talking about is there needs to be, like, if there is a girl in a game, she has to be, like, fucking hot or something. But then if it's a dude, no one particularly cares.
Well, I think it's because
like,
people
there's a
tend
lot
to
of
view it
different-
as like power fantasies, right? So they want the guy to be like
Yeah.
the idealized form of the male. They want the female to be the idealized form of the female. And both of these tend to revolve around like what a man wants, right? So the idealized form of man is going to be the biggest, buffest guy. And then the idealist version of the female is going to be the most fuckable woman. So that's what people tend to prefer when they, or at least for men when they look at video games.
Do you think Abby from Last of Us was hot?
I never played the game, so I can't say.
Well, I mean, she's
When
the
I
buff
remember,
chick.
yeah. I think she was probably okay. I don't know if
I
she
thought
was
she was
presented
cute.
as like a super hot character or anything, though.
Yeah, I thought she was cute.
Okay.
Not like knockout babe hot, but I don't know. A lot of people like to complain.
Sure.
All right, well, last question. If you could eliminate all poor people from the planet or all rich people from the planet, and we're not going to mix race into this, just rich and poor, which would you eliminate?
How do you define each?
Okay, let's say rich making over $300,000. Actually, no, let's make it easier. Rich earning personally over $100,000, and then poor being under that. Which would you rather eliminate?
Probably the rich.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have gone with the poor.
I think the issue is that there's going to be so many people that you eliminate at that point if you eliminate the poor, that even if you have the best, brightest, wealthiest, everybody's just going to go back to being a coal miner. You're not going to have enough people. You're not going to have enough human capital to like do anything. Unless all the rich people go and move to like one spot on the planet, there'd be like nobody left.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I would eliminate the poors. It would be kind of nice being able to have like all of humanity kind of focused around a warm area, like around the equator. And you wouldn't have to deal with traffic. Housing would literally be free. And let's face it, like, just most people on the planet are fucking assholes. So if you were to eliminate just a larger subsection, you'd get rid of a lot more dickheads. And the amount of poor people who are just completely and utterly non-functioning as human beings is just fucking crazy.
Sure,
Like,
that
you
might
can
be
say
true,
what
but
you
we would
want.
literally like we would all be hunter-gatherers almost again, right? Like you're eliminating like 98% of humanity. No?
No, I'd kind of disagree with that. We do have like automation technologies and stuff, and a lot of the infrastructure is already created. And given how little we'd be using it, it would be relatively easy to upkeep.
I feel like that's not true at all, but I don't know. Who knows? Okay. All right. I'm going back to watching this, okay?
All right. Take care, dude.
I love you. Be careful. Bye.